on this episode of the Sorority Chat podcast.
Hobbies and self-care are different. When I was in graduate school, I didn't have hobbies. I was doing graduate school. I was busy every single day. I didn't have time to needlepoint or bake sourdough. That takes so much time. You don't have time for that, but you do have to carve out time to just take a shower. That would be nice, you have to carve out time to do things that are just gonna rejuvenate you. And it doesn't have to be a hobby necessarily, but it has to be something that isn't schoolwork because you're doing that all the time.
Hey y'all, and welcome to Sorority Chat. I'm Liz Toombs, a designer and sorority alum who's obsessed with all things Greek life. My mission? To bring you real conversations, smart insights, and fun stories that help make sorority living even better. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's chat. Hey sorority chatters, welcome back. Joining me this week is a repeat friend, Miss Ivy Barton, house director at Alpha Gamma Delta University of Central Oklahoma. Hey Ivy.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. If you did not catch her the last go round, you can look up that episode. It was been about a year ago, right?
Yes, pretty much a year ago, yeah.
Yes. So like I said, Ivy's a house director. She's a recent graduate. She is going through grad school. And I thought it would be fun to bring her back and let's do a check-in with her. Let's see how life is going, navigating post-graduation and all of the things managing a sorority house.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This past year, since I last talked to you, has been the most amazing thing ever. I have learned so much just throughout this past year about just managing a house in general, which wasn't even on the radar of things I was going to be learning as house mom. I definitely thought it was going to be a lot more putting out fires and there were situations with the women that lived here, but it is so much more than that. And so I've learned so much this past year. I'm just being house mom. And now that I have all the operational stuff under my belt and just knowing how to handle different things that go wrong, now I have the opportunity to focus on building relationships with the girls and building connections. And we get to hold programming events, which is so fun. Something that I didn't get to do last year just because I was so bogged down with all fixing everything and figuring out who to call. And it doesn't seem hard until you're in it and there's something that it feels like there's something that goes wrong every other day and you're calling a different vendor every other day for something that happens. And so it's been a lot of fun just to get to actually just be house mom and get to hang out with the girls. That's been so fun. And then graduate school as well is so challenging and really hard, much harder than I ever could have expected it to be, but it's also exactly where I want to be. And I feel I'm learning so much and it's been so awesome as well. And house mom and being in graduate school just complement each other so well. And so I plan to keep doing it as long as I'm in graduate school. And who knows, I'm not going to say it could even go past that, but it's definitely working out right now because it's a part-time position and I'm in graduate school. So they just go so well together with scheduling. So the past year has been so much fun and I can't wait for the year ahead too. It's also already been awesome. So
I'm glad to hear that you're thriving. It sounded like that first year was sort of just get your bearings set, a little bit of survival mode, taking care of things. And now you're really gliding along and getting to enjoy the experiences more.
Definitely. Yeah. I would say it's a complete 180 of how last year was. Half the time just so anxious because I was scared to mess up. I was scared. I just had to learn at the end of the day too that there was nothing really that I could do that was going to be the end all of everything. And I was going to, there's certain things I could do to get fired, definitely. But FHC is such an amazing organization to work for because I've made mistakes, but I've been allowed to make them and I've been taught through them and learned so much through them that now I don't feel afraid to make mistakes. It's that's going to happen. And yeah, I make a lot less now than I did my first year, but it's just really cool to work for an organization that doesn't encourage you to make mistakes, but is right there when you do and is willing to talk you through them and help you through them. So it's been awesome.
That is good. I've had a lot of conversations in real life and then on this podcast with people where we just realize that even though we don't want to make mistakes, right? Because we feel silly, we're afraid we'll get in trouble. We actually learn the most when we make mistakes. And then you know how to avoid them in the future and what to do better going forward. And so there's a lot of value in the mess ups.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say that totally. There's been so many times that I can just think back to this past year that it happened to me. And I talk about too, FHC, their organization is so awesome because for the most part, it is ran by women, which is really awesome. And so each time that something happens, like it feels really awesome to have like it's like women empowerment through it as well. Like they're right there, like teaching me how to do certain things. And sometimes like I'm not even learning like something specifically with the chapter house. It's like I'm just learning a life lesson. And it's like really cool to have, a woman like teach me that. So it's really awesome. Yeah.
That's good. And if you're not familiar and you're listening, FHC is Fraternal Housing Corporation. It's who runs the housing for Alpha Gamma Delta. And so that's who employs the house directors and gives them the guidance and the training.
Yeah. And we definitely, there are some males on our team as well, which they're awesome as well. So I won't discount that. But just like being in this society, like it is really cool to, be able to work for an organization that is like mostly women. That's just like kind of a unique experience that we have today, especially just being in the sorority world. Like it's just really unique. And so I've been so thankful for it over like the past year. And like it just keeps coming up where I'm like, it's just really cool that I get to do that. And so I've enjoyed it a ton.
Do you feel like now that you have managed this facility and you understand what goes into maintenance and repairs, do you feel better equipped for if and when home ownership comes down the pike for you?
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, and I will say like managing this house is a little bit different because it is a house, but it's like industrial too. Like we have like an industrial kitchen and like everything, like it's not just like a normal HVAC system. We have like 5 HVAC systems throughout the house. Like it's just like a lot more kind of. And so I feel like 100 times more prepared because I feel like this past year too, like, first year being house director, like of course things are going to happen, but like there's just so many things that happen that you don't even think of. And then they happen and you're like, why didn't I think of that before? Like I could have better prepared for that. And it's just stuff that like you can't prepare for, like leaks that are going to happen. Like that just happens sometimes. And then you just have to figure out like where to go from there. And so, yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's the same way in home ownership, right? It's like something new every day. And sometimes it's minor, sometimes it's major. And you're right. You are managing a facility that is residential, but it's a commercial facility in terms of the kitchen and the systems and all of those things. So it's a very unique world. You're only benefiting yourself personally, but then also now you have that experience under your belt and now you know what to watch for and how to do some preventative maintenance instead of just like the reactionary stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And that's like a big difference from last year as well. Like I was just reacting to everything last year because like, I was like, I don't even know like where to start and how to be proactive in any of this. But now that like, I kind of like had to go through that year of reacting to everything because if I wouldn't have went through that, then I wouldn't have even known like the things to look out for and be proactive for. And so now this year, it's just like, I kind of like just know like as the year goes on, like there's different checkpoints of like things that I need to do. And I also started like a digital like house director manual so that like whoever takes out over after me will just be able to like take this manual, have all these things. Cause I had something similar, but I wouldn't say it was as in depth. And so I've been trying to make something that's like incredibly detailed. Like you wouldn't need to ask a single soul a question whenever you get this manual because it's a lot to take on. Like I remember when I first started, like I lived in the house before. And a lot of the times for those that don't know, like this is a position that can be taken on by like someone that isn't even in Alpha Gamma Delta as a member. And so they'll come in and like, they know nothing about the chapter facility. And so if I was overwhelmed and I had lived here for the past 3 years, like I can't imagine what someone else that maybe had never even lived in a chapter facility, how they would feel coming into this position. So yeah, that was my goal, just to make something that I can transition off to someone else when it's my time to move on to something else, which I'll be so sad when that comes. But all good things come to an end. So
yeah, well, that's thoughtful of you to put all of that together and to do it while you have the time and you're going through it. So then you can be more thorough. It's just like handing someone, in your job or in a volunteer role, handing them that notebook that says like, here's the path that we followed to get here so that you kind of have some institutional memory, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, like, I feel like I have a unique role, just me specifically in this, because I have a really personal connection to the chapter. So this is a different type of job for me because like I have a real connection to it. Like this is like my sisterhood. This is like what built me so much up in college. So like for any other job, like I wouldn't say that maybe I would like sit down and take a long time to make like a manual when I wasn't asked to do that. But I'm doing that because it's for Alpha Gamma Delta and I love Alpha Gamma Delta. And so I think that's just a really cool part of the like role as well, is that like while I'm working with some people that aren't sisters, I'm also working with a ton of sisters that like understand like how important the sisterhood is And so me doing the manual is just because like I want the chapter to thrive even when I'm not here. And so that's like kind of just the drive behind it too, which I think is a really unique thing to have nowadays in different jobs.
You're right. There is that personal connection being a member of the organization and now working for them, and the fact that it was your chapter as well, right? There's a lot of like heart and connection there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you bring up a good point. You were in this chapter, you're a member of the organization. Now you are managing and leading them in this home. Does it feel weird? Are there times that it's awkward because you're not that much older than them or that much separated from them? So does it make it hard to lead?
So I would say last year it was definitely a lot harder because I was, leading these girls and being a house director and house mom to these women that I was in the chapter with. And so it was definitely like something that I had to kind of just like reframe. Like I obviously like was still friends with these women, but like you kind of have to like take on a different role and figure out a new way to kind of lead, because you have to like create boundaries so that things don't get blurred. But I would say like this year, and I think after this year as well, like it's going to continue to get easier because like the women that are coming in, like they're new members. And like I was not in the chapter with those women. And so I think it's going to continue to get easier, and it's already been easier this year. And I wouldn't even say like last year it was challenging. It was just very different and just something, it's just like a learning curve that you just have to get through. But yeah, it's really funny because like some of like the newer members don't like, I don't know if they fully like recognize or understand that like I was in the chapter with the older members. So like I think they kind of get confused when I'm like out hanging out with them, or like we go out and do stuff like outside of the house, or like, they just don't understand it. And then like the older members will have to remind them like, no, we were in the chapter with house mom. Like house mom is our friend as well. Like she's not just house mom. And so it's interesting for the like younger members to like see that connection kind of.
It's like being out with a teacher. It's like, what's happening?
that doesn't feel right. Yeah.
But I mean, you bring up a good point. You do have to set some boundaries because there is a time and a place to be the friend, and there's a time and a place to be the house director and someone of authority. And so it's just interesting to navigate that and sort it out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and with my schedule, like this is a part-time position, and it's kind of like, do the work when the work comes up. It's not like I have set hours or anything. And so I'm not here like a lot during the day because I'm doing graduate school, I'm doing practicum, I'm in the clinic, like I'm doing a bunch of other things. And so to be honest, like that has made things a little bit easier for me, because it's not like I have this temptation to like it's not like I'm here all the time and I'm like out there doing stuff. And it would be fine if I was out there doing stuff all the time with them. Of course, it makes the boundary a little bit easier because it's kind of like I'm not just free all the time just to like do whatever. And so just the time crunch makes it kind of just like a built-in boundary a little bit. So that's helped.
Yeah, that is good. It's also interesting. Like you kind of have that big sister or like aunt role because they can relate to you because you're in class and you are a part of the chapter, but then at the same time, you're a role model and an example to them of what could come later in life. And so I'm sure that a lot of the members are looking up to you.
Oh yeah. And that's very sweet. And even like I've thought about too, I'm just like not like recruiting people to take over my role, of course, but like I've just been thinking of people too that like I'm like, oh, they could be like really great whenever like I'm done, because I think this position will continue to be a part-time position because it's worked out so well for a graduate student. And I really think that FHC has enjoyed like having a graduate student as well, and just the dynamic between like me coming out of the chapter and then still being here. So I think it'll probably stay this way. And so it'll be cool to see like who else like kind of gets the opportunity to like continue to be in the Alpha Gamma Delta organization and working for them now. Like if you would have like told me that as a freshman that I would be working for FHC when I was graduated, I would be like, no, you're crazy. And not because like anything about FHC, but just because you're like, what? No, like you don't even realize the job opportunities that comes from like being in Alpha Gamma Delta and, being a part of the FHC. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point again that like when you walk in the doors for the first time, you have no idea what's coming down the pike. Are you going to be a facility director? Are you going to be a traveling consultant? Are you going to do nothing professionally related to sorority, but you're able to translate sorority experience onto your resume? What are the opportunities that are coming?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I feel like that's something that I want more of the women in the chapter to know too, is that there's so many opportunities within the chapter that can, even if like you said, you don't decide to like go on and, work for Alpha Gamma Delta, because like the vast majority of people are not going to go on and work for Alpha Gamma Delta. But the whole point of like being in a sorority as well is that like you get so much leadership experience and you get so much just experience too. Like I would say just living in the house, like how to like problem solve with other people, like how to live with someone, like that's just like good for whenever, someday you have a partner and like you potentially live with them in a house. Like that's good to like be able to have those skills. And like also like sometimes, it's not like butterflies and rainbows living in the house with girls all the time. Of course it's not. So like you have to know how to like be uncomfortable sometimes, and you'll have to have hard conversations and stuff like that as well. So I'm just like, there's so many things that you can learn from being in any sorority, not even just Alpha Gamma Delta, that I think are so valuable whenever you leave this place.
This has been coming up so much in conversations. Like I was nodding hugely when you were talking. So Mandy Lotzenheiser is a house director that had been on the podcast recently, and she and I were talking about like having those hard conversations and how to work through uncomfortable moments, all the things you're talking about with like roommates and stuff, because you're young, you've not had those experiences. So how can you navigate them? And then Alicia Connor from Corporate Sorority Sister was on recently, and she was talking about how you can translate even things like I took out the trash every day during recruitment to help the team not have to do that, and how those things can translate over and look good on your resume and you can show your skills. And so there's so much that you've brought up that is valuable that active members don't even realize how to cash in on that yet.
Yeah. And that's something that as housewarming, I've tried to, it's like one of those things, like I said, last year was very like learn all the ropes, just like kind of just like get by, because I was just like so bogged down in learning everything. And so now I get to like think like, what impact do I like want to leave on the women here? Because like, I don't just want to be like the house mom that like fixed things. Like that's awesome. And like everyone loves that. But like, I want to like, be remembered as like, the house mom that was like encouraging, and the house mom that told people to run for, leadership positions. Like just someone that was mainly like just a good source of encouragement, and you could always like count on that person, like being able to, give you good advice, or even not even give you good advice all the time, just listen sometimes, because it's really valuable to have someone in the house that understands how it is to be in this chapter, because especially being on executive council, like, and being a leader in this chapter, it's hard at times. Like there's obviously so many things that make it amazing, but at so many times, like it's challenging. And so to have someone that like you can come to that understands it, but also isn't in it, I feel like is a really good thing to have. And I wish I had that sometimes when I was in the chapter. And there were so many like alumni that were awesome and like amazing at, taking on that role sometimes as well. But having someone directly in the house, like, and not that I'm on call, but like if you catch me and I'm here, like I'm more than willing to talk. So,
good for you for paying that forward and recognizing like, hey, I could have used this person when I was in your position. And so I want to be that for you, because that is the legacy that you're going to leave. And great that you fixed the pipes or like the leaky toilet. Thanks for stopping that. But they're not going to remember that in like 5 and 10 years. They're going to remember the conversation and like the heartfelt moments and the connection they created with you.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if I mentioned last year on the podcast, but I was kind of like taking on this role too from our late house mom that passed away in 2022 from cancer. And she was my house mom when I was in the chapter. And we had a house mom between her and then me coming in, obviously, because that was like a 2-year gap. But our house mom that passed away, she was like our house mom. Like everyone knew her as house mom. She was the most amazing person. Like I could talk about her all day. And so there's so many like pieces of her too that I'm trying to like continue on, because now like everyone in the chapter, like they don't know who house mom was and they don't know Christy. And so I just want to continue like her legacy and her light of just being that encourager, because you definitely need it in college sometimes, not even just with Alpha Gam, but just college is hard. So like you need that person sometimes that not everyone has that like at home. And so I think it's important that when you have a mom, a house mom here that kind of plays that role, when your real mom is like at home missing you and, can't play that role like directly in person all the time. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a unique position to be in.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously you're doing graduate school. I'm sure graduate school is challenging. So talk about how the course load is going. You're doing psychology, right?
Yes, I'm in school psychology. And a lot of people get that mixed up with counseling. They're a little bit different. School psychology is doing psychoeducational evaluations on students to determine if they qualify or need special services in the schools to succeed. So this could be students that struggle with the intellectual disability or with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, like diagnosis like that. And so I do the assessments for those and then help provide those services and make sure those students get the help that they need. And then obviously counseling is where, you go to therapy if you need to talk, if you need to work through something. So they differ a little bit. And a lot of people get, oh, like you're going to be a counselor one day. And I'm like, close, but not quite.
They're adjacent.
Yes, I like to differentiate between the two. But this year, so I'm still like in classes, and I have classes every night. And so I kind of work during the day, like in our clinic. We have one at the school where we do these evaluations on like community members and people that come in. And then at night we have class from 4:30 to 7:30, Monday through Thursday. So it's a lot. It's a big adjustment because I'm up early in the morning and then like not here until late at night. And so it's a lot, but I enjoy the classes so much that I like can't even be mad about it. Like, of course I'm tired. Of course I'm exhausted, but like there's going to be a point in time where like I wish I was like as tired as I am now. Like I wish I had more to do. I'm just taking it in for what it is and just being excited sometimes about being tired, because it's a privilege to like be tired and like have so much on your plate. And yeah, it's definitely hard to juggle it all, but it's just another life skill that like you just have to learn and like push through, and you'll get better at eventually. And I think I've improved a ton at it since last year as well. And so it's awesome. And then next year I'll be in practicum. And so I'll be in the schools and I'll be in the clinic more full time. And then my 4th year is a paid internship at a public school, probably in Oklahoma, but it could be really anywhere in the US. So yeah, I'm very excited. But yeah, I won't graduate till 2028, which I can't even say that year out loud because I'm like, that feels so incredibly far away.
It does.
If we get to 2026, like it's going to feel a little bit better because I'm like, okay, that's only 2 years. But right now I'm like, it feels forever away. But yeah, I'm also like in a really cool state right now where I don't think I've ever been in a position where like, I'm like, okay, these are times that I'm going to miss and I have to cherish this. But for some reason, like recently I've been so much in like I have got to cherish this because I'm going to miss going to class, being with my classmates, being with my cohort, getting to like learn every single day, because one day I'm going to be like out of school every single day. And that's going to be so awesome because that's what I'm working towards. But like my life's I'm never going to be in college again after this. So like, and that's like so weird to think about. And so it's just really cool because I'm in a state where I'm like, I'm going to miss these days. I've got to cherish it. And I don't feel like before, like when I was in Alpha Gam in undergraduate, like things are flying by. Like you don't even think to like stop and be like, wait, I'm going to like miss this one day. It's been really cool to actually like get to cherish it and just like take in every moment for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds great that you're savoring it. And when you were talking about up early and staying up late and so on and so forth, and it reminded me of like a meme that I see online that says like, what a privilege to be tired from the work that you wanted to pursue, the life that you wanted to create. And I mean, it is a good reminder to stop sometimes, because we do get in such a rush. And it sounds like you are taking that pause and soaking it in and enjoying what you're experiencing, even if there's a little bit of stress.
Oh yeah. And I've gotten better at just like also kind of working through the stress, but also like taking moments to just like be still, because that's so hard. Like I'm also just such a busy bee. Like I love to stay busy. So like it's especially hard for me because I'm not someone that like loves to, I don't think this is a bad thing, like, but loves to like just, sit around and watch TV. Like I have to force myself to like just sit and like do something other than like being up and like going somewhere or like doing homework. And of course, all that needs to get done, but like you have to carve in time to like just do something that's self-care and relaxing. And even like I had someone tell me the other day that's now out of graduate school and is a therapist now. And because I was feeling a little bit like, I don't have any hobbies. Like everyone tells me I need to get hobbies. And she was like, hobbies and self-care are different. Like when I was in graduate school, like I didn't have hobbies. Like I was doing graduate school. I was busy every single day. Like I didn't have time to like needlepoint or like bake sourdough. Like that takes so much time. Like you don't have time for that. But like you do have to carve out time to just like take a shower. Like that would be nice, like you have to carve out time to like do things that are just going to like rejuvenate you. And it doesn't have to be like a hobby necessarily, but it has to be something that isn't schoolwork because you're doing that all the time. So that made me feel better because like I think, society and like social media just gets in your head. Like you need to have hobbies outside of what your work that you do. And it's true, but it's hard in graduate school to do that. So if anybody's listening that's in graduate school, it's okay to not have hobbies, but you have to have self-care.
Yes. And I think you've brought up a good point. Like you said, take a shower. When we hear self-care, again, with the internet, it's like, oh, go to the spa, oh, whatever. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It's literally just taking care of yourself. So what does that look like in the moment? Is it just sitting in silence? Is it reading a book? book? Is it calling a friend? Like, what part of you needs attention and care and nourishment, and then focus on something you can do to support that?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think self-care is going to look different, especially for everybody, but it's also going to look different probably day to day. Like, I wouldn't say that like self-care is always for me like going out to like dinner with some of my friends. Like, definitely sometimes it is, but like sometimes it's like sitting in my bed and, reading a book, or sitting in my bed and like putting on a face mask, like doing things that like don't involve anybody else. So I think just also recognizing that like self-care is just going to look different day to day. It's not going to just like always be the same. And that's how you're going to have to learn that about yourself so that you can, better, I don't know, just continue on like throughout whatever you're pushing through.
Yeah, agreed. Somebody gave me advice that I took, which was to keep a little list of things that kind of fill me back up or feel like self-care. And I mean, I made it. And sometimes it's like go light a candle, create like a calming atmosphere in my house. Sometimes it's drink more water, just stuff that you forget about in the busyness of the moment. And so sometimes I'll go back to that list and kind of reference to be like, what do I need right now? And then I do it.
Yeah. And that's so helpful. I should do that, because I think too, I'll be like, okay, it's time to do like self-care. It's time to like not, do homework or not think about this or that. But then I'm like, what do I do? Like, you just like, then it feels more stressful to now think about how to do self-care. So it would be nice to like have a list that you can just go to and be like, that is something that I like to do, like take a bath or something. Like, that's not too strenuous on your body or anything. So
it's your past self taking care of your future self, because it's the high achiever in you that's like, I can't even self-care right because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Yeah, I'm going to add to my to-do list, make a self-care list.
That's doing the opposite of what the goal is. Let's not do that, friends. Oh my gosh. Do you see your psychology work and what you're learning through your courses showing up in how you engage with the members at Alpha Gam? Not that you're giving them like autism tests, but you know what I mean?
Of course. Like, I'm not doing that. But yes, I would say so. Like, and I think too, it's kind of cool when other people recognize that maybe your line of work is important and needed, because there was like recently like a situation where we had to have a conversation, a hard conversation. And one of the members was like, you should like lead this conversation because like your background will like really help you. That's like the first time anybody's ever said something to me like that. And I was like, oh, whoa, like, you're right. I was like, whoa, like, it was kind of like, it was like really endearing and of course, like very flattering. And it was just really cool to like have someone recognize that. And then it gives you the confidence too. You're like, you're right. Like, this is something that like I kind of have been like learning to do for the past 2 years and continue to learn. And so I definitely feel like it's shown up, and it's cool to have people kind of champion you and recognize that in you as well, that that's something that you're good at and that you can do.
That's a proud moment, I think, when you realize, hey, that's something that I would like to think about myself, but somebody else brings it to your attention. You're like, okay, all right, I am getting that out there the way that I'd hoped I was.
Well, yeah. And sometimes you just need that person, like kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, you just need that encouragement to like kind of push you over the edge. Like, oh, I can do this. Like, I've been practicing this. I've been learning this. This is what I do in my classes, whatever. But to actually have someone that like knows you well to say something like that is really sweet, and just kind of like gives you that extra like push to like keep going, that like what you're doing is worth it.
Yeah, it's always nice to get that little boost of encouragement. So you talked about when you get to your final year, it will be an internship, maybe in Oklahoma, maybe not. I know you're an Oklahoma girl and you have a heart for the school system there, because we've had a lot of conversations offline about that. Like, what do you think your ultimate goal is? Is it to work in an Oklahoma school? Is it to see other states? Like, where do you want to go?
Yeah, I think internship year, it's a unique year because it's like you're only bound to that year for that year. It's not like I'm accepting a job and it's like kind of just indefinite. Like, you accept a job and then it's like you go until maybe it doesn't work out anymore. But like internship year, it's like you're kind of signing up for 1 year. And so I think it'd be a really cool opportunity to do something outside of Oklahoma. A piece of my heart will always be in Oklahoma. I can't say whether I want to be in Oklahoma public schools. I can't say if I'll be in them forever, but I do have a passion for them, because someone also told me this one time, like they were like, if all like the professionals and all the good people of Oklahoma leave because it's, so bad, which like there is times that it is not awesome. And definitely with just like the education system where we're at right now, like it's not in the best place that we've ever been. They were like, if everyone leaves, and like, it's never going to get better. I've thought about that ever since, because I'm like, you're right. And not that like me staying is going to be the one person that fixes Oklahoma education. Like I'm not going to do that. But like, I do think it's important to like recognize that. And we need people in our education system that are passionate about being in it and want to be in it and aren't just in it because, they've been in it for so long, which we even appreciate those people as well. But we want passionate people in the education system. So we'll see where it goes. I totally can see myself here, but I'm also could totally see myself like somewhere else. So we'll see what happens. But I'm open to staying and open to seeing new places.
Well, I vote you come to West Tennessee for the internship here and come hang out with me for a minute and then you can go home.
Yes.
Do you have any like closing advice for recent grads, soon to be grads, as they're embarking on the next chapter and kind of trying to figure out what that looks like?
I would say, for recent grads, give yourself grace when you're transitioning into this new season of life. I think I got a little bit lucky and I kind of got to move into this role. And so I didn't really have to mourn Alpha Gam yet. Not that you once you're initiated, you're a member, like Alpha Gam is for life, of course. But the collegiate experience and the alumni experience is very different. And so give yourself space. And even if you're not in a sorority, like just give yourself the space and the grace to learn who you are and what your life looks like outside of like college, because it's going to be so different and it's hard for a lot of people. But I think it's even harder when you're putting so much pressure on yourself to kind of like keep things the same or, not giving yourself that grace to push forward and into the next step. And so I would say give yourself a lot of grace because you need it and you deserve it. You just did a full 4 years of college, which is so hard. And especially if you're moving on to graduate school and doing more college, it's even harder. So give yourself grace because you deserve it and you've worked really hard for it. And grace isn't something you even have to work hard for. So like, even if you don't feel that way about yourself, that like you worked hard, you still deserve it. So give yourself grace.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a hard lesson to learn, especially, if you're like a goal setter and you're trying to achieve certain things. But you're so right. We need to give ourselves grace. And otherwise we're just on a path to burnout.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And especially in this society, like burnout's even like, more common nowadays. And so we have to give ourselves grace. And yeah, I think it's really important.
Well, thanks for coming back on, Ivy, and checking in with us. If people want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do it?
On Instagram's a great way, at Ivy Barton. I also have an Instagram. It's called @Ivy's_plate. And I post a ton of like food reviews, mostly in Oklahoma. But when I travel, I also post those. And so that's just like a fun creative outlet that I've kind of taken on because I was like, I've got to have something outside of school that I enjoy doing. And so I don't take it super seriously. It's not like I have a ton of followers, but I like doing it. And so I started it. So there as well.
That's all that matters. That's kind of your hobby,
Yeah, definitely.
You just get to do it when you travel. And I do follow that account. And audience beware, you might get hungry because it looks like good stuff. Oh, well, we'll make sure we have all of that listed in the show notes. And thank you so much for coming on. It was great to see you.
It was great to see you. Thanks again.
Welcome to Liz's House Hot Takes. This is where I take the lessons I've learned over the last 16 years of designing Greek houses and offer you my pro tips. Here's today's house hot take. Think about move in, not just move out. Renovations often wrap up right as everyone is moving into the house, which can be total chaos. Plan to have furniture installed before move-in day. That way, when sisters walk back into the space that's complete, it feels welcoming. They're not tripping over boxes and paint cans. A completed house sets the tone for the incoming semester and year living in the house. It also eases the parents' minds leaving their children behind. First impressions matter, even for returning members. Thanks for listening to another House Hot Take. For more inspiration, check out the PDR Interiors Instagram or TikTok. I'm Liz Toombs, and this is the Sorority Chat podcast. Catch you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you got something out of today's conversation, we'd love for you to leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more listeners just like you. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to check out this video right here or this one over here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. On that note, I'm Liz Toombs with Sorority Chat, and I'll see you on the next one. This podcast is produced by Collier Landry for Don't Touch My Radio. Copyright Liz Toombs.